Hello and fuck cape shit. Welcome to another episode of Shittywebcomics Weekly, brought to you by our Subscribe Star backers. So, donate to our Subscribe Star to support us, and also to find out all the hidden lore and the secret
Subscribe to
truths.
us. Subscribe to us to stop supporting the fucking grifters.
Yeah, if you are tired of being ripped off over and over and over and over by people who just steal your money by telling you what you want to hear. If you would prefer to support the people who tell you the painful truths that you don't like hearing, but are proven true every single time, then check out our Subscribe Star linked
If
below.
you want to fucking be alerted ahead of time before you give your money to a scammer, then first off, stop giving your money to scammers.
Yeah, don't do
But
that.
then, alternately, you could instead give your money to us
Well, not
because
could,
we
you
aren't a
should. If
scammer.
you are morally, ontologically, morally incorrect, if you don't give your money to us, if you don't become our pay pigs, instead of becoming the pay pigs of people who just lie to you, you should be the pay pigs of people who tell you the truth. And then you are cleansed of pay piggery. It's a wonderful thing, but the only way to do it is to go to our Subscribe Star. You can. There's other ways to give us money too. Just you could just ask, of course. A couple people just donate to us freely outside of the Subscribe Star. So there are a few handy dandy, wonderful, wonderful ways to
It's
support the
kind of
people
like
who tell you the truth.
also kind of like in Fight Club, where it's like you want a place to stay, just ask.
You can just
Stop
ask.
dancing around it and just ask to
Yeah,
give us money.
just just stop doing whatever you're doing that's incorrect, and instead do a thing that is correct. That sounds like a good idea, actually. That sounds pretty cool. Dude, it's
We were
so
just
cool.
reading a thing, and this will go up later. But I mean, there were people who are like, "Oh, I gave all this money to Comicsgate instead of Doug to Naple, and I wish I'd given all my money all these Comicsgate projects." And it's like, we didn't ever. I was going to say we had never given any money to any Comicsgate project, but actually, we did give some money to one of them,
Just
uh,
one.
the Ribbit Coin thing.
Yes. Which we ended up, just one we donated to and revealed it to be such a scam that Ethan Van Sciver almost faced criminal prosecution and had
I mean,
to
he should
cancel the
have.
whole campaign.
Not just that he almost did, he should have,
Yes.
but because the rest of his fucking fan base are literal brain dead retards, nobody else reported the campaign.
Well, and
So
the
he
thing
got
is,
away with it.
supposedly any of those other, there were a couple people who were like, it's not proof, that doesn't prove anything. It's like, okay, if you got the campaign, go ahead, crack open that fucking shell and check it out for yourself, prove me wrong. And instead what
We
happened,
proved it right.
yeah,
We already showed the
we
evidence
yeah,
that
we
we are
showed our
right.
evidence, we went through all of that, and instead of proving us wrong, instead of even presenting an argument, Ethan Van Sciver canceled the entire campaign and offered everyone a refund. Sounds like verification that I was right again to me, just the same way that we turn out to be right about everything else every single time. Because again, we're not trying to pander to you. We're not going to pull a Nick Rekieta and just tell you shit that you want to hear. We're not going to pretend to be into anime when we're not, the way that people like him do.
In fact, we are definitely not into it. We were just also talking yesterday about the Nostalgia Critic reviews of like Miyazaki movies and
Yeah,
stuff like
where he had to pretend to like them because his channel got flagged when he didn't, and the
that. He
videos
got
got pulled in.
fucking
Other
wrecked.
people independently had to mirror his reviews of Miyazaki movies. But also at the same time, we're not going to tell you that we're wholesome family men with wives and kids who are traditionalist conservative Christians with who are good moral upstanding people, while in private our wives are getting just prolapsed, and not we, but in this situation the person who tells you these things is involved in some kind of child molestation cover up.
Yeah, we've never even sold airtime to a fucking child to pedophiles before.
Yes.
Ever.
We
We've
don't
never
do
done
any of
that.
that. We don't pretend not to because we don't also. Whereas again, guys like Nick Rekieta do all of those things. He will
And Yellow Umbrella Tug and
yes.
fucking Ethan Van Sciver.
I mean, what are the chances that Nick Rekieta is directly involved with child molestation? They're actually pretty high, and
Fucking one
we have
1%.
already previously shown the evidence
It's
proving
kind
that.
of like the odds of fucking a bomb being discovered at the fucking Ground Zero mosque. What are the odds of that happening? 1 in 2?
Something high. So yeah, again, we will never do any of that stuff. We just tell you the truth. Whereas all the other people that a lot of you YouTuber enjoyers go out there and watch and support and simp for and make excuses for and help cover up for and
Have to back down after the fact when you get in trouble for backing them,
yeah.
have your money stolen by them,
So
have
there's
them essentially just make you look like a retard every single time.
yeah, that's constantly happening. We're constantly getting proven right about all of these. Like at this point, we could just make claims and it will end up being proven right because it has. So yeah, in the so why support people who tell you they're Christians as they're possibly involved in child molestation when you can support us who have never been involved in any child molestation or just pandering to you and telling you things that are clearly stuff you want to hear that are just fake and not real. And I know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people really prefer that. But personally, I'm against child molestation. I'm against pedophilia. Whereas people like Nick Rekieta aren't. They're in favor of it. In fact, they'll platform actual
Not only
pedophiles.
are they in favor of it, but then they'll also pretend like they're not in favor of it as they are protecting these people.
He actually, I didn't know
Let them
this.
go on and do it.
He had a convicted pedophile on to ask him about, the legal situations. Like, oh, you were arrested. Okay, so you were arrested again. Completely separate from the whole yellow umbrella stuff. That's a different situation about a different pedophile that Nick Rekieta doesn't admit to. This was, a whole other situation. And again, if you want to know more about that, check out our Subscribe Star. Know what else talks about it. I think it would be nice if Godwinson got into some of that, but and he did. I think he did show a clip or something for that, but he did some very good streams about that. But the really ahead of the curve stuff, if you want to know about it, you should be checking out our Subscribe Star. Anyways, today, now that we have that short little intro all wrapped up, we want to go over something from late last year, November 2nd, 2022, where Stone Toss mentions here's just a tweet. Stone Toss says the pervert being called out in this tweet is the same one who agitated for the censorship of Flirk's NFT. Good to know. And so, well, here's this. If somebody OG Kenobi Hello saying this Andrew at Andrew3W explaining he, a grown man, created a fake Twitter profile depicting a 13-year-old kid really weird likes to masturbate. The sexualization of a minor is not an acceptable marketing tool. This space is in dire need of a cleansing. CC United Talent and so on. So again, that was it's like, what is this about? And it kind of this Stone Toss sort of helps set up some of the context of what's going on there and who that is.
Kind of like how when we do that.
One of the replies to Stone Toss here is just fucking 4chan green text, and it's just a fucking thing. And then, of course, people whining about Stone Toss, as always, replying with a Stone Toss comic that's maybe slightly, only tangentially related, which, that's kind of his thing, I guess. But here's another thing. Another tweet from somebody, Jeff.xyz, Sherwood MG, saying, here's the footnotes on the Art gobblers and Andrew situation, Twitter can be really fragmented, so figured it'd be useful to see it all in one thread. And again, this is it's it's I think worth. I'm really just going over this because Stone Toss retweeted it, and it's like this might be worth looking over, and almost accidentally related directly to what we were talking about with the all the other YouTubers who seem to have a very bizarre history and connection with pedophiles and grifting and scamming. But here, this Jeff XYZ guy says Art Gobblers is a new project founded by Justin Roiland. Justin is well known to be what can't really describe as anything other than pedo-friendly at best. Here's a skit he created of himself raping an infant. And then, linking to a thing from 2020. Someone saying, watch the whole thing. This is the creator of Rick and Morty. The shit is fucking sick. Cancel Rick and Morty. Pizzagate frazzle drip. Save our children. Which, again, there's a lot of arguments that can be made, like, oh, it's a cartoon that's supposed to be ridiculous. There is a whole element, especially, it was really through the 2000s and 2010s, and 4chan's kind of related and engaged to at least some of this, where it was considered funny to joke about that. It was kind of a gallows humor thing, dark comedy, black comedy, whatever, where just making jokes and goofs and satirical things, as long as they weren't real about fucking.
This is what happened to fucking James Gunn, basically.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is exactly the situation James Gunn found himself in.
Yeah, and it's like, here's another piece he created depicting child porn. And again, like, there's a cartoon and there's some bizarre. Like, the original Dakin Maharti Flash animation that Justin Roiland made was about the kid, Marty, is licking Doc's balls. It's like, oh, you gotta lick my balls, Marty. That it's basically just straight up like Rick and Morty, but it was much dumber. And it wasn't until the Rick and Morty cartoon was.
It was apparently because the fucking guy he had, whoever it is that owns the rights to fucking Back to the Future, like shut down a skit that they were trying to make, and that was like his revenge or some shit.
Yeah, and again, that was part of the crazy over the top. It's like the other side of the rainbow of lol random humor was fucking, here's something crazy of intentionally offensive that again, that was like a James Gunn and fucking that kind of shit. That was part of comedy throughout the 2000s, was how intentionally offensive could you be. Sort of like the Cumtown bit about if you look up Cumtown Schism, where fucking just in a giant spurg out, Nick Mullen just starts doing an entire bit to the tune of, not Schism, I think it was the Pieces Fit or some other Tool song, but he said it was Schism, so the bit is called Schism. It's on YouTube, and in it, as he's going on and on to the tune of the song, he's describing how in the 2000s the best Halloween costumes were the ones most intentionally offensive and racist as humanly possible. It's like in 2001, I won best Halloween costume for Hitler raping Casey Anthony or something like that. It's like, that was the point of a ton of comedy and that kind of shit, going back 10 years. And because it was, popular, in a way, South Park had lots of child rape jokes. There was the episode where
rape jokes in general.
Yeah, and just, gay jokes, rape jokes, racism jokes, that kind of thing. There was the episode where Cartman thought he was dead. Cartman thought he was dead, so he haunts Butters, and Butters' parents thinks that Butters insane, so they take him to a doctor that fucking just like shoves a gigantic vibrator up Butters' ass, and is like, whatever traumatized your son will find, is like that was the diagnostic test for finding out what traumatized Butters into thinking that his friend was dead. And it was just like, again, that's a child rape joke. It's kind of a child rape joke making fun of how, doctors and like doctors don't know and are negligent and that kind of stuff and cause the trauma they're trying to fix and stuff. But it's still a child rape joke ultimately. Um, and again, then is the question is like, is that okay? Is that legal? Sort of the Nick Rekieta response as well. Well, it's not illegal, so that means it's definitely okay. That's really his response. That's his cope to anything. It's really bizarre because he'll say like, porn is terrible, but it's legal. It's protected. He'll say anything is protected by the First Amendment. To the point where he'll probably start saying that child rape and child pornography is protected by the First Amendment. You're going to see that at some point. You're going to see him say something ridiculous like that. If he hasn't already, because again, I don't watch any of his videos. I don't even watch his clips because
No, I tried.
he's one of the stupidest people on the planet.
There was a time where we tried, and the simple fact is that he doesn't do good work.
He needs to be more like us. He needs us to keep him steered in the right direction, but he's not capable of that. He's not smart enough to know that we have always known better than him, as he himself has accidentally proven, which it's one of the many things I do thank Nick Rekieta for, is proving us right over and over again. And even Nick Rekieta's own real-life friends have admitted that, have been forced to admit that. He's sort of blown himself out and made himself look like a big dummy, if you will. But I'm glad for that. I'm glad for Rekieta doing that. But yeah, his streams are really stupid and clueless and just in the dark about reality. And then if that was at the beginning, and then later it turned into pretending to care about things, like pretending to like anime, which he never has. He told me personally that he's never liked anime.
I don't believe he pretends to care about Warhammer 40K, and he's got like a miniature on his fucking like on the shelves behind where he streams.
Yeah,
and it's like, I've never heard him talk about this show. I've never heard him talk about Warhammer.
He doesn't really have any insight to it.
Somebody who would be interested in it.
I know that he played Dawn of War 3. He told me that wasn't a very good game. It's like, okay, yeah, that's what I was hearing.
Also, that means nothing to me.
Yeah, any idiot can come to that conclusion.
If anything,
in fact, he has.
All he's talked about is Dawn of War 3. Meanwhile, I've played Dawn of War 1 and 2 and Winter Assault and Dark Crusade and Soulstorm.
Yeah.
I'm legit.
You didn't really haven't much to say about those, but yeah, I played all those games too. But
why didn't he have anything to say about those? Is he a total fraud or something?
Is he a fake fan? It seems like it, according to himself. Again, I don't think
we already
he is.
know he's a fake fan of other stuff. It's not like he's above that kind of thing. He's definitely not. We already know that. We have already proven that.
With a lot of the embarrassments that have been going on with him too, he's been trying to really double down on the Johnny Depp support, because again, it appeals to the boring, alcoholic, negligent mothers that are becoming more and more of his fan base.
Yeah, it's an effective market. If you don't give a shit at all about what you make or what you talk about, that is one of the best grift markets going right now.
Yeah, if you just pander to it, that's really all you need. And so again, as we've been proven right about, and again, people will realize this in time, but the biggest lol cow just about in the history of the internet is Nick Rekieta. And I know people can say, I would say a bigger one is Christian, but here's the thing. Christian is actually autistic. Christian was never going to go to a fucking legal
Christian is actually
to law school. He would never have a chance at the bar. Yeah, Christian is washed, I guess the Squiddos would say. But here's the thing, is that Christian has an excuse, at least. What is Nick Rekieta's excuse for having incredibly easy thin skin melt? It's incredibly easy to just on accident, without even trying, get Nick Rekieta to have crying meltdowns. Well, he'll cry on stream, and hide behind actual convicted, confirmed child abusers. Um, that again, fucking. How do you the people who don't agree with us about this haven't noticed, and nobody notices better than us. That's why Ricada would benefit massively from learning from us, and from if anything, he should bend the knee to his true masters who know better than him and who are superior to him morally, including, because we don't pretend to be Christians and then platform child molesters and support and platform child abusers and hold fake opinions for money. We don't do that, but he does. And again, none of that's my opinion. It had already been proven years ago, just from a casual observation, which goes to show also how many people haven't noticed that, therefore are not even capable of like a 100 IQ level of observation. What is the cutoff for being an NPC? And personally, I think it's 95 IQ. You have an IQ of 95, you're an NPC. You're not actually a human being. But that part
Even that,
is just my
maybe
opinion.
105. I might have to
Yeah.
put 105, but that's me trying to raise the bar.
I mean, to be honest, it could be 110. People with 110 IQ maybe aren't even sentient, and because I mean, I don't consider that impressive to have 110. Certainly not to me, of course. Where my IQ is fucking multiple standard deviations beyond that, and always has been, even since I was a kid. Actually,
We tested very, very high when we were kids.
I wasn't even that good at testing either, but
No.
just fucking. That's how. Again, it's like
We were
none of
held
this.
back by everyone else around us.
None of this is hard to notice, but it just takes the slightest bare bones level of noticing, which is why also I wanted to look at this because again, Justin Roiland, it's like I kind of liked him. I kind of liked Rick and Morty, but the game. This was before the game came out too. That High on Life game, which was it. Just everything I saw from it looked painful, and people were taking clips of it
I don't need
of
to play
just
the
the
game.
gun
That is
constantly
also the key
talking.
thing about that game is I don't need to play the game. All the clips I've seen don't recommend the game to me.
It looks like an even more annoying a more annoying cringe version of Borderlands, which I know
Yeah,
somebody who
which I
likes
already don't like.
Borderlands, but fucking I just it's just agonizing to listen to.
Borderlands is the biggest crime of all because that would have been a game I would have loved.
Yeah, because it
Fucking
had built-in
Diablo style
completely
looter
drop-in coop.
shooter with 4-player coop.
Yeah, just fucking finding
Everything,
crazy
everything
randomized
should have
guns.
been perfect.
But it turns out most of the crazy randomized guns are like a shotgun with a fucking sniper scope. It's like this one has extra sniper scope range damage when you're
And
aiming. It's
so
like,
as a result, it's like it also has lower accuracy than normal. It's like
yeah,
fuck off then.
yeah. It's like
It also
fucking.
does less damage. Here's a boss that you outlevel by 20 levels, but it can two-shot you, and there's no explanation for it.
It's
It's
because the
just like
gun you're having reduced your health by 90% as
it
part
did
of the
even
trade-off for
reduce
having a
health by
sniper scope.
90%. It just the boss is somehow way more powerful than all the other monsters in the game.
Just randomly, yeah,
Like
like they
why?
didn't play test it properly because they were too busy fucking putting in. They were too busy having fucking Anthony Birch put in wacky, hilarious, lol random fucking just not even Invader Zim tier lines. Like Invader Zim was at least had some funny stuff. When Gurr was being stupid, annoying, lol random, that was usually the joke. Was that Gurr was annoying? It usually. Again, it was kind of a fine line. Invader Zim is a good show, but it just rides that line. And Rick and Morty did for a while, and then they replaced a large chunk of the writer staff, and for some reason, the quality of the show just dropped. And the audience obnoxiousness, that's always a gradable factor. That should be considered an entire point on a 10-point scale of how good a show is how obnoxious the audience is. And but except for Rick and Morty, it should be all 10 points is how obnoxious the audience is. And it was something that damaged Invader Zim too. Very tragic. But here's the thing about these cartoons they're linking to is like 2018, digging deeper into that pedo controversy, quite the rabbit hole, from Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fame, a piece he created depicting child porn or something, which I'm not even gonna play the clip, but it's like possible, yeah, but it's also like, again, what the context is just utterly being stripped out. You could make these same accusations about South Park. Anyways, the question is that, if you hold this to the same standard, does that mean South Park is pro child porn or pedophilia? Because I don't know, because most of these other people aren't.
Pretty sure
they're looking to get someone in
South
trouble.
Park is not. South Park is definitely not pro pedophilia. They don't do fucking. They don't.
Again,
do
it's got like really questionable, weird stuff and humor, but again, it is still about the context. That part with that episode, that's one of my favorite South Park episodes. That part always makes me a little uncomfortable, but again, that is kind of the point. But it's also like it makes me think. Well, I become a real Karen where I'm like, well, did they really need to go that far? But it is still funny, just because it's like fucking poor Butter. Like the whole show, especially those surrounding seasons, are just about abusing Butters constantly.
He's haunting Butters, and then all of a sudden he just happens to have chains around with him.
He just
starts wiggling
brought
the
chains
around while going to scare Butters, even though it's like he already knows that you're there and that you're a ghost.
The Pet Cemetery episode was also great, where they just throw a pig dressed in Butters' shirt off of a roof to pretend that Butters committed suicide, and his parents completely buy it. They fucking, because it's a pig, and so they think Butters is clearly like. There's a whole thing where
Butters has just killed himself.
People are like, telling Butters, "Why are you making that face at me?" And Butters just goes, "That's my face." Just everyone's a dick to him. The Awesome-O episode is probably my favorite South Park episode ever. And again, there's like fucking he makes Awesome-O put a suppository in his ass. It's like, make sure to get good and deep in there. And again, the whole point is to torture Cartman for being a jerk. Cartman's just a jerk. But again, you can say that's promoting or depicting child porn or something. When, it's fucking, it's not, if you strip out the context, you can say that. The question is it that here, which it could be.
Victimization of a child or some shit.
Which also, there was that, just like fucking with Just Some Guy, where he was defending the gay men's choir. And it's like, it was just a joke, just like South Park, where they were singing, "We're coming for your kids." And it's like, not really a joke. Even if it was a joke, if it was supposed to be funny, there are convicted child predators and child abusers, just like the ones that Nick Rekieta's friends with right now. So again, how weird is that?
Fucking Just Some Guy said it, who we have also confirmed is essentially just a retard.
Yeah, just some guy supports. He's supported grifting. He supported other child abusers. They've all given aid and succor to that, where we haven't. And again, it's like, I can understand doing it on accident without knowing what the person's like, but you've known what these people are like. Fucking Nick Rekieta knew what his friends were like. Just Some Guy knew what Comicsgate was like. All the evidence was proven, and they chose to not only ignore it, but cover it up. So the question is, how similar is that to this Justin Roiland stuff, where and the other people who were trying to... It goes to show, too, not just that they're doing this questionable cartoon stuff where it's like, what's the context and that kind of thing, but then they're trying to get NFTs censored, pulled off of stores, where if you don't like it, like, we've never done that with any SJW or Comicsgate comic, ever.
No, in fact, if anything, we do the opposite.
Yeah, we say... We
really believe that fucking Comicsgate's doing something good. By all means, waste your money. We've already warned you that these people are scammers and doxers who are trying to dox their competition, which to me says everything I need to know about their odds as a fucking creator.
In a way, if you do that, you yourself deserve to be deplatformed. The same way that an SJW who tries to censor people deserves to be platformed. Comicsgate has, again, also done the exact same thing, as we've proven,
If
where
you're
they've
pro
tried to do
doxing,
this.
you deserve to be doxed.
Yeah,
Not because that people should be doxed, but because you're in favor of it.
yeah. Ethan Van Sciver himself paid somebody to try to get our docs and to false flag us and get our YouTube channel pulled down. Which that part worked, but he still didn't get our docs, and that was the thing, is that
Yeah,
if
do you support doxing?
yeah, if you do that,
If you
by
don't,
all means, you
do you
deserve to be
denounce
deplatformed yourself.
doxing critics when critics discover crimes?
If they
That's okay.
if your response to criticism is to find somebody's home address and real name and that kind of stuff, and that's what Ethan Van Sciver did, as has been proven years ago. And again, nobody's paying attention to that. So
And how many times have these people been asked to even apologize for this or go back on these statements
or
or
to
these
make good, to make
never?
good on their
I've asked,
behavior.
I've asked them.
Yeah.
I do. That's how I. That's what it's like to have integrity.
Yeah, like even people like Eric July have supported the deplatforming of other creators. In fact, he has actually had other creators
Doxing others.
deplatformed by having his fans flag other people's accounts just for criticizing him and pointing out that yes, he was directly involved in the blaze. He gets money from and support and promotion from Glenn Beck and Glenn Beck's corporation, and that he will not admit, he will not come clean. But also on top of that, that he's given promotion and support to Comicsgate that is an SJW movement, while again the same way that Ricada does, where they pretend to hold these views and then in practice are antithetical to the views they pretend to hold in every single way possible. Where they say they're against SJWs, and then they engage in SJW behavior and tactics, just against people who tell the truth. Not even people who criticize them, but people who have told the truth. Like Comicsgate has, worked in like the same way. Also, again, Ricada again against worked against kiwi farms and talked about how kiwi farms, but then will hide it behind he'll hide behind freedom of speech and say they have the right to be stupid assholes, but then clearly he's setting up his audience to be against kiwi farms, which we know how that pays off and how it will, as we've seen, where Nick Ricada is directly involved with people who have false flagged channels, including ours, of course, and have gotten their audience to false flag channels. The way that that Umbrella guy started spreading hoaxes about us, making death threats against his family that never happened, and when asked for the proof, he would block people. Nick Ricada's response to that was to bring that Umbrella guy on a stream to essentially promote and cover up for how that Umbrella guy was brigading his audience against other creators.
To help spread lies against critics, to silence them.
And
this
that was
is how they feel about their criminal behavior.
Again, this was years ago too. This was multiple years ago.
This
So
is a very
this isn't
long
new. This isn't some new fucking revelation about Nick Ricada. He's always been like this. His own friends have admitted that he is disingenuous as a person and always has been.
Own friends admit in shame his behavior.
Yes.
But they can't fucking
They can't really talk about it because then his audience will turn against them, and it will do that thing where as we've seen, where people are like, oh, I used to like you guys. Is this kind of really gay fake concern trolling from someone you've never seen before, never heard of, never has been around, and they go, I used to like you guys, but now this popular e-celeb who claims to be a Christian and his wife gets fucked by black guys in private, he says that you guys are bad, so you're bad now. That is unironically every single Nick Ricada fan on the planet.
Because he has a larger follower account on a fucking social media platform. Wow, I want you gone then.
Yes, that's also Eric July. Eric July has done that personally. He has done that multiple times, and in fact constantly is doing videos about people on Twitter who have like 150 followers who just say, I don't really like Eric July's comic, and I'm not really interested in supporting anything involving Glenn Beck. And Eric July will do these fucking performative videos that are edited by someone else and have production values that are clearly backed by a company. And he'll be like, look at this fucking stupid piece of shit. Everyone else, you think he's stupid. Hey, viewers, you think he's stupid too, right? Just hiding behind...
Boys are after me again.
Yeah, and it's other conservatives that Eric July is talking about. So it's like he hides behind... Eric July hides behind his audience the same way that Nick Rekieta did, the same way that Ethan Van Sciver did, the same way that even Ethan Ralph would, and you know, just one YouTuber after another fucking Baked Alaska. And fucking, I'm trying to even think of any to name because I don't care about any of them.
School fucking tactics. Again, none of this is new. People are acting like, oh, you just fucking made this. This is old news.
Yeah, all of it had been proven. And the thing is, even people on Kiwi Farms are still in the dark. They haven't put two and two together because they're really just not that smart either. But even they are starting to notice what we had pointed out and proven years ago. So, like the old saying goes, find out about it from us now or on Kiwi Farms in 2 or 3 years. But also, if some e-celeb would hide behind their fans that blatantly, the same way that guys like Eric July do, it used to be on 4chan, you would be ripped apart forever. That would become the meme, is look at this pussy Eric July is hiding behind his audience. He doesn't have the balls to stand on his own by any of the merits of anything he has to say. It used to be that's how it was. And again, that was also in the 2000s. And that era is over now. It's all about the parasocial relationship and worship of e-celebs. And
yeah, it's a marketing gimmick.
This is something that pretty much nobody else talks about. If you want to see the only people who ever really talk about this kind of stuff, check out our subscribe star below.
If you want to learn how to become immune to propaganda.
Yes, if you want to learn the immunity to propaganda and how you can do it easily, just fucking, just $5 a month. Hey, send $10 a month, you'll be doubly protected. But check out our subscribe star to, again, support the only people who are actually telling you the truth. And for everyone else, should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.